with National Greco-Roman coach Matt Lindland a couple weeks after the World Championships in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Matt, your thoughts at this point about the overall U.S. performance in Greco-Roman at the World Championships?
Well, I think it was an outstanding first step for sure. With Andy had an incredible performance. He had one of the most exciting matches of the entire tournament, beating the Olympic champion. Vlasov, and coming home with a medal. I mean, that's something we haven't done in 5 years. So we're excited about that. We're excited about that this is a good step forward. It's something to build on. When you're not bringing home medals for a while, I think what happens is your athletes tend to believe that the world's too tough for us. And Andy's going out there and beating one of the toughest guys in the world, showing, hey, we're right there with the rest of the guys.
So let's talk a little bit about Andy. What was the key to his performance? He's been to 3 World Championships, never been a medalist before, and he's knocking off great guys.
Well, I think the key to the performance is everything he did leading up to the performance. Was the 6 medals that he took all this season. 5 of those were gold. He went to every tournament he could get to, competed as much as he could, getting those competitions. And with those competitions, Andy was always trying to seek out an extra camp with foreign competition. He does everything you ask of him in the room, outside of the room, lifestyle-wise. So he's a great example to what it takes for the rest of the team to look to. And if you want to get a medal in the world, you want to get a medal in the Olympics, here's the formula. Watch Andy, follow what he does, and the beautiful thing is he's in the room with us every day, training with us, so you can see that example.
So Spencer Mango, 2nd straight year, 5th in the worlds. He's moved into a weight class where he's smaller than the guys. He went up 4 kilos from where he was before, but still able to win big matches and compete well. What was reason for Spencer to be so tough?
Well, my personal opinion is he's at the right weight class now.
Right.
I don't think he is necessarily undersized for that weight class. And it was pretty impressive, though, that he moved up 4 kilos and it finished 5th again for the 2nd year in a row. Definitely think that he can get a medal. He's right there. The key for Spencer, I think, is the mental game with him, and that's something we're really working on. We've reached out to some outside sources. We're working very closely with some sports psychologists because the he's athletic, he's quick, he knows how to wrestle, he's right there with all those skills. He can continue to improve on some of those areas, but I'm very confident that we're going to see him finish his career with a couple medals, a world and Olympic medal.
And, our team had a mix of new and old guys, and old meaning experienced, haven't been to this tournament before. And some of our veterans that had been there before didn't get in the medals. Curious about your thoughts about, the guys like Robbie Smith, Justin Lester, Jordan Holm, Kayla Williams, guys that weren't first-timers, and how their performance was, even in comparison to other years.
Well, I certainly feel like some of those guys you mentioned, definitely they would probably agree with me that they underperformed. And I don't know why. Robbie had, for example, he had a knee surgery. Then he hurt his shoulder going into camp, and he had some sickness he was dealing with. He just kind of had one thing after another, and kept a good attitude really throughout it all. Had a knee surgery during the Pan Ams, came back, was healthy, made it all the way through camp, kind of hurt his shoulder a little bit. So he was dealing with some stuff, but you're always going to have to deal with that stuff, and you've got to be able to wrestle and perform regardless of those situations. One of the things we talk about is prepare for the worst. Prepare for, like, everything goes wrong. You don't have your weight cutting facility like you think. You're going to have a harder time making weight. You're dealing with injuries. Prepare for all those things and hope for the best. And if everything works out, great. But have a contingency plan and know that you're going to be able to have to compete through some injuries. You're going to have to compete and overcome adversity. And sometimes guys just succumb to that and they say, I was hurt, and they start giving themselves excuses. There's no excuse when you get to this level to not perform at your best at the high-level tournaments. And make adjustments. Jordan Holm is definitely a good wrestler. There's no question he is good enough to beat those guys. He's beaten world medalists before. Why he's not doing it on on the days of competition is again, I think it's all here. You know, he gets very tense and wants to win so bad that he forgets what he has to do to win, which is just relax and wrestle and you know, simple things like create angles and level change and move your feet. And he's thinking, I want to be on the stand, when he should be thinking about, you know, hitting arm drags and simple stuff like that. If we can get Jordan to relax and just compete, he's definitely got a medal in him or two. So I'm excited. You know, one of the things I felt like, okay, when I get in here, I'm gonna have to replace a lot of these guys. But what I realized is I've got some really good wrestlers in this program, and I'm excited to work with these guys. They're hungry to learn. They want to improve, and Jordan's going to improve. Robbie's going to improve. These guys are going to get better, and I'm optimistic that they can get medals. I am very optimistic about that.
You had a couple first timers, Bryce Sidoris and Joe Rao. What did you see from their performances that gives you positive expectations for their futures?
Well, first of all, I'm really impressed with both of those guys. Bryce Sidoris is just a leader. He's a quality individual. He's come through the military academy. He was a 2-time All-American. He knows how to compete. He went out there and pinned his first opponent. I mean, at the World Championships, he didn't have that, okay, I'm a first-timer, I'm supposed to back down. These guys, he took it to him. The match he lost was on a caution point. And one of the things that, you know, Bryce really, I mean, unbelievable improvement between the Pan Ams and the World Championships on his high lift. He was on his high gut. He was getting this gut, but the guy countered it, and in the countering process, he was giving him a lift. And Bryce's mind was so focused on, I'm going to get this gut, I'm going to get this gut. He missed the opportunity to actually hit his lift. And you know, that's just inexperience. He just needs more time on the mat, more drilling. He's been doing Greco-Roman for 1 year. Same thing with Joe Rao. We took him last year as a training partner. He was on our team this year. Last year we gave him the MVP of the Nut Squad, which is what we call our, affectionately call our training partners, is they're on the Nut Squad. But he was our number one guy. He was willing to help every guy. He was willing to do whatever we asked of him, and that kind of willingness to do whatever it takes transferred over into his training, and he was willing to do whatever, you know, his coaches up in Minnesota asked him, Coach Chandler, anything that we asked him out here. He was begging, can I come to more camps? He's very eager to learn, very eager to improve. So both those guys I have really high expectations for in the future. They just need the experience. That's all it is, and we're putting a plan together right now. When we got back, and Coach Lewis and Coach Momir and we've been sitting down for a week and going, how do we get these guys the best competition for each individual, and still, you know, treat it as a team. And so we're going to split some guys up. We're going to take some guys to Belarus and Russia, and we're going to take some other guys to Rio for one of the test events. We're going to get the right guys to the right tournaments to suit their needs, whether it's more competition or tougher competition. Some guys just need more matches and more experience and lots of matches, and some of our top guys that are medal ready and performing just need to match up with the best guys in the world, you know, world medalists, Olympic medalists, and go out there and continue to win and beat those guys.
So are there any specific areas in our wrestling, in American wrestling, that you guys are going to work on besides the experience stuff between now and the World Championships in Las Vegas next year? You know, and overall program things that you're going to work on based on what you learned this year? Well,
on our feet, I think watching what Andy did, and that's something we've been working on. I've been working with this program for 2 years before I came on as the head coach, and I've had the opportunity to work with Andy and all the athletes on the program, but specifically Momir has really focused to Andy's positioning and being able to score on his feet. We still have to develop a go-to where he can score on that move, whatever it is. He's got some great knockdowns, some off-balance attacks. It's figuring out what his key move is, his go-to move for specifically for Andy, and the rest of the guys. It is that position. It's level changes. It's staying in closer, not taking away the space. And then the biggest takeaway I had from the tournament was the guys that were winning medals were scoring on top, and the matches we lost every one of those matches that I'm thinking about that we lost right now, we had a chance to score on top and we didn't take advantage of it. You look at the match that Andy lost against the Croatian, it was 1-0 on a passivity point. Andy got a chance in the first period on top, and he didn't capitalize on that opportunity. Bryce Sidoris had the same thing. Spencer,
Yep.
Spencer in his final match, in his bronze medal match against the Norwegian, he got an opportunity on top, and he's got a phenomenal lift. But he has to. But you have to seize that opportunity. You have to take it from these guys. And that's really what it is. And the second part of that is once you lift, you gotta be able to gut, or once you gut, you gotta go right into a lift. When I wrestled, there wasn't consecutive gut wrenches. So we developed more of a philosophy of what I call combinations: a lift gut, a gut lift, putting those points on the board. And we saw guys like Andy do that. We saw him do that in the was it the quarterfinals, I believe, where he teched the Japanese guy.
Yeah.
He got on top and he finished the match. It was a gut lift gut, and there was 8 points on the board, and the match was
Yeah,
over.
the Japan was the bronze medal match, right?
Yeah, was
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
it. Yeah, it was the bronze medal match. I was trying to think what round it was.
Yeah,
but
it was.
against the
It was when it
Japanese.
really counted.
And you know what? That was super exciting. He went out, he teched the guy in a medal match. The other Japanese opponent we faced was against Spencer, and he
Right.
teched his guy, but it was combinations on his feet. He got to the body, threw him for 5, got to the body again. The guy countered that. He took him straight to his back. But that's what I mean. Basically, that's what it is. We've got to continue to improve our parterre defense, which I felt was really improved from just a year ago.
Right.
Huge improvements on our defense. Andy floated that one against the Russian, but let's stop it earlier. Let's not even let him get him up in the air. And we are improving. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen the improvements in the defense, and then focusing on absolutely we have to score on our top position. We're going to get maybe one chance, and we got to capitalize on that chance. And when we do, try to score combinations.
So how good can our team be for those 15 Worlds in Vegas? And what will it take for a good performance or a great performance on our home mats?
I think our team can be phenomenal. Realistically, I'm expecting 3 medals. Optimistically, there's probably another one in there if one of these guys really has a breakthrough year. But seriously, I'm expecting 3 medals out of our team. And I think the key to that is the guys got to buy in. And what I talked about a little bit earlier in this interview is Andy set the model. Here's what you got to do. You've got to follow the program. And we're changing things up. I mean, people are like, they're going crazy because this isn't how we've done things in the past. You know, we're putting in blocks of just training to build some strength, or for some guys they just need to build muscular endurance. And so with our strength program here at the USOC, we're working very closely with these guys and saying, how can we accomplish these goals individually for these guys? And so we're taking 3 separate blocks where we're going to be off the mat for a period of time. And we're going to develop that muscular conditioning, that explosiveness. Some guys need explosiveness. You look at Spencer Mango, does he need to be more explosive? No, but he needs to put a little more mass on and be just a little stronger. He's not too small for that weight, but he needs to be the right strength for that weight class. Robbie, we do need to lean him up, changes just his overall, move that muscle around.
Right.
And we've got a plan for that, and we're putting it in with our competition schedule. And so we're looking at what's our priority events. Well, it's the World Championships for sure for us, and then we've also got the Pan Am Games.
Right.
And we got to make the team. And we've got our trials. I mean, one of the other changes we're really pushing for, the coaches are on board, the athletes are on board, is why do we need 2 domestic events to pick our team? So we're gonna really push hard to get our trials and our U.S. Open as one event, have our team selected in early May, and then we can prepare those guys for the Pan Am Games, we can prepare those guys for the World Championships, and have our team together longer and doing the same program. And the key is that everybody buys into what we're doing and just trust the process. It's definitely a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think it can happen by September of next year, and we can start getting those medals.
You've talked about a priority being making Greco more popular? Are their athletes better known? The personal stories and personalities out there. And how's that going? And what more can we expect in regards to really elevating the status and the knowledge of Greco here in our country?
Well, Andy getting that medal, and to continue to build on that and show him and show that, this is a guy that's worked an extra job in between workouts, and it takes a lot of sacrifices, and showing that, this is a guy that's been able to do this while raising a family. He's got a wife, a child, another one on the way, and people are looking at, wow, man, I got it tough. I got to make all these sacrifices. Well, look how tough somebody else has. You're not the only guy in the world that has something tough. We all do. You don't get to win medals unless you go through some adversity and overcome it. And show that, show the struggle and show the triumph, both, because that's part of the story. Every one of these guys, I enjoy being around them. They all got great personalities, so we gotta engage people more often through what we're doing here on the video, through social media platform. We took a guy with us this year. I think some of it's going to come down to probably just time and money. Right. We're going to have to invest some time. We're going to have to invest some money into it. It is a priority. It's probably not as big a priority as it is right now to get these guys ready to win medals in 15 and 16. But it's something that we are going to continue to do. in the past, coaches didn't have the access to be able to just get online, do a video on their iPhone and upload it right away. And I can do that. I can engage our coaches. And specifically this week, I'm going out to one of the premier high schools in the country in Jersey. I'm going to work with some of their athletes and try to get some of those guys inspired to be a part of our Greco program immediately. Maybe their senior year of high school or right after they graduate, but get them out here training full time. I love what was the Russian 85 kilo, this freestyle?
Sadalayev.
Sadalayev, yeah. 18 years old, winning world championships. The guy's still got, 2 more years of junior? And he's winning senior medals. And I think guys like Aaron Pico, who was in our room all week this week, working with us, training gut wrench, tightening up his gut wrenches, and working his 2-on-1 and working his underhook, and having guys like that are a little more high profile. He's probably even more high profile than our world medalist, Andy at this time. But using guys like that and saying, hey, I'm in the Greco room training with those guys to help my freestyle. It's going to definitely help folk style. It's going to help all styles. It's really quit siloing Greco and saying, well, that's Greco-Roman, and saying it's all wrestling. And how do we incorporate all wrestling? And some guys are going to gravitate more towards the classic style wrestling, the Greco-Roman. It's exciting. It's fun. The rules now have really changed and opened it back up. I think the way the rules work kept a lot of people from even wanting to wrestle it. When I came back, I was like, what are we doing? I don't even know. Why is this going? If I'm a world and Olympic medalist and I have no idea what the rules are, coming back, taking a decade off and then coming back and going, I don't even recognize this sport. But now I recognize it. It looks like the exciting style where we're trying to force scoring and we're creating opportunities. I really like the push out scores a point, takedown scores 2 now. We're seeing 5-pointers at the World Championships against high level guys. So I think that's key, make it exciting and show that wrestling can be very exciting.
Well, Matt, I really appreciate it. It's going to be a heck of a year in 2015, and we look forward to all of it.
Well, thanks. I'm very excited to get going and keep this ball rolling with the momentum that Andy brought us at the World Championships.